What's good? This is Trey. Welcome to this presentation. Today, I want to talk about how to fall in love with your life, how to create a life full of passion, full of love, full of joy, full of peace, all those great positive emotions that most people strive for. So, what I've found is there's two questions you can ask yourself that will uh, help put you on track or get you on track to achieving or creating a life that you love, a life that you enjoy, a life that you're passionate about. Okay. The first question is, what would, what's that thing that you would do that that's worth dying for, right? Like, how would you be living if you knew you were gonna die in the next 24 hours? Like, what would you be doing, right? That's one question you can ask yourself. So that's one question to think about. Like, what would I be doing if I knew I was dying? Like, because a lot of people are not facing the fact that at some point they are gonna die, right? And when you face that fact, you start to get a lot clearer, because people have a hard time getting clear on their purpose, clear on what they should be doing. What do they really want to do? When you really start thinking about, okay, at some point I'm going to die, right? What do I really want to do? Like, what really speaks to me? What really gets me going? What really fills me with passion? What is that thing that I could wake up in the morning and be excited about? It might be one thing, it might be a couple of things, but it's finding that thing that you're willing to die for. Like, that's the kind of life you want to live. You want to live a life where if you were to die at the end of the day, you'd be happy with how you lived your life that day. That's the kind of life you want to live. Now, you have to be strategic and smart about it, right? You have to set up your life so you can live that way. For example, there's certain people who would be doing certain things that maybe would not be able to pay the bills. And so now you have to think about it strategically. Like, how can I create a life where I'm doing the things I love to do that I'd be willing to die for, but I'm also able to pay the bills? Now that's when you gotta get smart about shit, right? Because the bills do need to get paid, but at the same time, you want to live a life that you love. You want to be doing the things you love to do. You want to be doing things you enjoy. So that's the first question I would ask. Is like, what is that thing you'd be doing and you'd be willing to die for? What's that thing that that really speaks to your soul? That thing that you know, you don't need motivation to do. You're just inspired to do it. You love it, right? That would be the first thing I would look at. The second question I would ask is, what is that thing that you're willing to become great at, or become the best at, or become amazing at? Like, what is that thing you love to do that you could see yourself becoming world class at it? Because that will help you solve the other thing I was talking about being able to pay your bills. If you can get really good at something, or become amazing at something, you can make it profitable. Like, people will pay you when you're really good at something. You just got to be smart about it and see, okay, is this something of value to others, right? That's where you got to look at and see, okay, you got to get smart about your life. You got to see, because there's people out there who are literally doing exactly what they love to do and are getting paid to do that, right? So it's not like it's impossible. And I was aware of this. Like, I started, for me, entrepreneurship has been a huge part of my life. And I always knew this was something I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to get paid to do what I love to do, right? And I've ventured into different niches over time. Like, I started my entrepreneurship journey teaching people how to improve their basketball skills, right? I created a YouTube channel and I was making money from that. And I transitioned from that into learning how to create websites, like build websites, like website development, building sales funnels, marketing, stuff like that. And I got into that and I did that for some time, right? So it can change, right? Like you can transition, something can inspire you for some time and then it may change, right? But I loved each of those seasons of life that I went through. Like when I was doing the basketball stuff, I loved it. I enjoyed it, right? Then I transitioned out of that. I got into something else. I loved that. I enjoyed it. But I found these things that I loved to do at the time and I did them. And I figured out how to make money from them. I figured out how to make money from basketball because that's what I was doing. That's what I was in love with. That's what I was passionate about. Then I got into like business coaching, like business marketing, building people's websites, helping them with their sales funnels, helping them with marketing, right? I fell in love with that, right? Then I got into what I'm doing now, the men's dating niche, helping men with their confidence, helping men go out and approach women, right? Why am I doing these things? Because these are things that I love to do, right? These are things that I'm passionate about doing. These are things that I'm willing to die for, right? Like, 50 Cent talks about get rich or die trying, right? So that's the mentality. It's like, I'm willing to do this and I'm willing to die doing it. That's how much I love it. That's how much I'm passionate about it. And that's how you fall in love with life, is when you start living a life where you're literally living like through your passion, right? Like you're putting yourself through, because, if you're going to create something and build something, you're going to go through challenges. You're going to experience adversity and stuff like that. But you're making a conscious decision to go through that because you love what you're doing. Like this is what you love. This is what speaks to your soul, right? So it's worth whatever challenges are going to come with it. It's worth the tension. It's worth the adversity. It's worth the ups and downs because this is your passion. This is what speaks to your soul. This is what gets you going. This is what inspires you. This is what makes you experience love, joy, but you're also going to experience pain. You're also going to experience sadness. You're also going to, you know what I mean? But that's part of it. That's the yin and the yang. That's the ebb and the flow. That's the left and the right, the up and the down. You have to have both sides of the coin. But when you love something, when you're passionate about something, it makes it worthwhile. And you actually fall in love with the process, right? So people that are miserable and not happy and complaining and shit like that is because they're not really living a life of passion. They're not living a life that they're not living the life that they truly want to live, right? They're compromising, they're conforming, right? They're listening to the opinions and advice of others instead of following their heart, following their soul, following their intuition. So those two questions, man, ask yourself, what you can't truly live until you found something that you're willing to die for. You got to figure out, what am I willing to die for? Right? Like what is my passion, man? What is that thing that I enjoy even when it's not going my way? Like basketball, I was so in love with basketball, man. Like when I just started, I remember like I sucked at it, but I don't even remember like caring about that. Like I just loved the game of basketball so much that even when I was going through the times where I wasn't good at it, it didn't matter because I enjoyed it. I was having fun because that was what I loved to do. And it's the same thing with all these other avenues that I've went into, all these other paths that I went into. When I was doing the whole learning how to build websites and sales funnels and learning how to market on YouTube and email marketing, all these things. While I was doing that, I was passionate about it. I loved it. I enjoyed it. And now what I'm doing now, I love this shit, man. I enjoy it. I enjoy the whole, like, it's not like I'm, oh, you know, I need something to happen or I want something to happen. I just enjoy this shit because I'm passionate about it. I love it. I love every single moment of it. I love the good and the bad. I love the ups and the downs. I love, right? And I'm not even seeing it as that, as, that's the thing. When you truly love something and you love and you're passionate about it, you don't see it as work. You don't see it as hard. You don't see it as difficult. You just see it as a journey. You just see it as the path that you're supposed to take, and that's just what it is. And you don't, you know, you're not, it's not like you're doing something because you have to do it. Like, you just love it. And that's when you start to fall in love with life, when you fill your day with activity that you're passionate about. Fill your day with things you love to do. Stop trying to do, you know, be how other people want you to be and do these things that you think you're supposed to do, and people trying to tell you what direction to go and what path to go. You have to listen to your heart, man. Right? You got to sit down and meditate and really get centered and present to the moment and really get clear on what it is that you love to do, what it is that you're passionate about, what it is, what's your dreams. You know, start living your dreams, but be smart about it. I was smart about my decisions, right? Like, when I needed to save, you know, when I needed to save up money for certain things, I saved up the money. If I needed to get a job, to hold down a job for a little while I was working on my business, I would do what was necessary, but I knew what my passion was. I knew what my purpose was. I knew what I really wanted to do, right? And yes, there's going to be fear, and there's going to be doubt, and there's going to be haters, and there's going to be this, and there's going to be that. But to me, you know, my love and passion for what I was doing was worth whatever I had to go through. And that's just how I feel about life, period. Like, I'm not going to compromise being me, you know, just to fit in with the society or fit in with the crowd or none of that shit. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna be miserable. You're not gonna feel like you're living. You're gonna feel like you're existing. There's a difference between feeling like you're truly living versus existing. Living is passion, is love, is joy, it's emotional. Okay, but there's order there. Like, okay, you know where you're going. It's not chaotic. It's not all over the place. I know where I'm going. I know what I need to do, and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to go through whatever I got to go through. And the great part about it is, it's not even about the destination. It's not about, oh, I need to achieve this result to be happy. No, it's, I'm doing what I love to do, so I'm happy doing it. I'm happy in the process of doing what I'm doing. I'm not waiting for something to happen. I'm not looking for a secret, super fast shortcut or quick pass or fast pass or magic pill or magic potion. No, I enjoy what I'm doing. I don't want to miss any part of it. I want to be I want to experience the entire movie. You don't watch a movie and say, hey, what's the fastest way to get through the movie? How can I speed up the movie? No, if it's a good ass movie, you want to watch the whole damn movie. And that's how your life should be. If you truly love your life, you're going to want to experience every moment and enjoy every moment. It's when you're doing shit that you don't want to do. That's when you're like, yo, how can I get past this shit? Give me a beer so I can drink my sorrows away and shit like that. But when you truly are living your passion, when you got to get clear on what is it that you're willing to die for, man. Ask yourself that question. And the second question is, what am I willing to become the best at? What am I willing to become world-class, amazing at? What is that thing I love to do, right? And those are the two questions that are going to help you to find out what it looks like to live a life of love, live a life of purpose, live a life of passion. By getting clear on the answers to those questions, and then you start creating a plan to start going after that. Whatever the answers are, you ask yourself, am I living the way I truly want to live? Or am I living somebody else's life, some life that's been sold to me, that's been forced upon me, that I accepted? But you can make a choice to say, I don't want to live this life. This life is not making me happy. This is not a life of passion. This is not a life of love. This is not a life of joy. This life is not the life I want to live. I want to go in a different direction. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes. That's why I said it has to be something that you're willing to die for, because that's what it's going to take. if you want to live a life of your dreams, you want to live a life that most people can't live, it's going to take all that you have. It's going to take you digging deep and finding the courage and finding the strength to make it through. Because it's gonna be tough. It's not gonna be easy. You're gonna have to become. You're gonna have to transform. It's literally what it feels like to me when you make this decision to live a life of purpose and passion and stuff like that. The experiences you go through are gonna transform you, almost like a caterpillar. You know, when a caterpillar goes from caterpillar to butterfly, it really, to me, the experience has been like that. Like, I feel like in the beginning of my journey, you know, as far as like entrepreneurship, I started off as a caterpillar. Like, I was one way. Like, if you looked at me back then, you would say, okay, I don't know if this guy, if he has what it takes or whatever. And I've just grown and evolved so much through the experience that now I feel like I'm a whole different person. There's still some core qualities there that were always there from the beginning. But as far as the character, the design of the character and the beingness and the energy and the vibration and the communication and all these different things, it's a whole other beast. And that's what makes the journey so great. Is the person you become on the journey. You transform, you evolve, you tap into your best self, and you start to experience a lot of intense positive emotions that most people won't get to experience, because you done went through. It's not like you just going through good shit. You're going through bad shit too, but you enjoy it because you're passionate about what you're doing. You love what you're doing. It's kind of like having, I never had a child, but I would assume that when you have a child, it's like you love your child, and even though the child like is gonna cause you some problems as far as like crying at night when you're trying to sleep, or shitting on you, or pissing on you, or behaving wrong, all these things, but you're willing to go through it, and it's worth it because you love the child. And it's the same thing when you find your passion, you find your purpose, you find that thing you love to do, you're going to be willing to go through it because that's truly what you want to do. And you have to trust yourself, because there's going to be some times where you're going to feel like, oh, I don't know, how am I going to make it through this shit? And you got to trust yourself and have faith that yes, you can make it through, because there's many stories of people who have went through some crazy shit and still found a way to get through it. People who had all the odds against them, people who lost limbs, got diseases and all this stuff, and they still ended up achieving success. They still created successful business, or, you know, create successful art, or did, you know, accomplish something, got some medal, you know, like there's so many different stories. Like Chicken Noodle Soup for the Soul is a great book that shows you all these stories of people overcoming great challenges and still making it through because they dug deep, and they were faithful, right? And they believed in themselves, and they were willing to die for what they were doing. It's not like they were just doing some bullshit that somebody told them to do. They were doing what they believed in. And that's what it is. That's what it's all about. It's finding what you truly believe in, what you love to do, what you're willing to do, go all in with, and just go all in. That's it. And that's the energy of the unbreakable beast, right? If you're a man watching this and you want to develop unbreakable self-confidence, I'd like to invite you to the Unbreakable Beast Tribe. This group is all about becoming the best version of yourself, the most powerful version of yourself, the most confident version of yourself, right? And I'm going to show you the steps to become grounded in your masculinity, more able to express yourself authentically, and more of a leader. This is going to make you attractive, not only to women, but you're just going to become attractive, right? You're going to radiate confidence, right? And that stuff is contagious. People want to get around it. When you have that confidence, when you're grounded, when you're solid, when you're clear and focused, and you know what you're doing, you start attracting people, and you start attracting the right people, people who want to be aligned with what you're doing, right? People who complement what you're doing. You will start polarizing the wrong people. The wrong people will have to leave your life. And that's what it's about. It's becoming the kind of man that knows where he's going. He knows, you know, what he's doing, and if people want to get aligned with what he's doing, he welcomes them, and the people who ain't with it, then he's like, yo, get out the way. I'm going. All right? So I'm gonna drop a link to the Unbreakable Beach Tribe in the comment section, and I'll see you inside. Peace.